Aries. Hey, Aries. What's up, my friends? Fire Fridays every Friday for you, Aries. How are you? Welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. I greatly appreciate you coming back. Thank you so much. We're going to take 3 cards for the general energy, as per usual. If you're returning, this is how I do it. I'm going to explain briefly. 3 cards of general energy using the Santa Muerte deck for you. Fire signs, for whatever reason, Santa Muerte, they go together like peanut butter and jelly. Or depending on whatever metaphor suits you, peanut butter and bananas. Whatever it is, I don't care. Anyway, never mind me. I'm in a weird mood today. We're clarifying using the Baroque Tarot. This is a new tarot deck I got from Lamucci Designs on Etsy. Beautiful gold foil loveliness, but it's based on the Rider-Waite-Smith, but it's kind of a beautiful watercolor. It's very vivid, very dreamlike, and kind of just a little. It's got a tinge more darkness to it. I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean it's got a tinge of that, which kind of helps introspect. For me, it introspects a little bit. It's got a little slightly more somber tone to it. Let me put it that way. A little less cartoony, right? And then we'll get 3 cards of energy for the potential outcome using the Santa Muerte once again. So without further ado, my dear friends, Aries, let's get into it right now. Kicking it off with the Ten of Swords. Kicking it right off, beginning with the ending. We've got the 7 of Swords here. Yeah. Okay. And we have the 9 of Wands. Yeah, okay. Underlying energy is the 4 of Swords. So it's been a period of recovery here. This is very interesting, though. You can see the 4 of Swords in this deck. There's a person pounding nails into a coffin, right? Putting something to rest, to recover, to reflect on. The 7 of Swords, look at this. This guy's coming out of the coffin. And what does it say? Hope and reflection on the inside. And he's coming out of the coffin like, oh, gaining an insight. This is, so after a disappointment, after a heartache, after a setback, there's a period of like rest and recovery and introspection. It's sort of like a lighter variation of the Hermit card in a sense. It's like you're kind of in that energy, you're coming out of that energy and with a new introspective view on whatever it was. Something that ended, by the way. It's like you kind of woke up to the fact that something is just over with. It's done, Aries. It's done. And that's left you in an energy of the 9 of Wands, which is a persistence. There's a specific energy that's come to an end that's required an ending, but your inspiration is still there. It still remains. You're still persisting towards your goal in your manifestation, whatever that may be. It's like I said, this old situation's been cut off, and it's like in this 9 of Wands, it's very unique. This we basically have almost looks like Santa Muerte herself, although she's not pregnant here, swinging the sickle and harvesting those wands. So something's being cut off. And Santa Muerte, by the way, she represents death, and death is endings and new beginnings. You see that? Ace of Pentacles, new beginnings. New beginnings, Aries. Every ending inherently leads to a new beginning, because what the heck is an ending anyway in the grand wheel of time, in this vast universe? What does end mean? Endings are more experiential than subjective, really. They're more subjective than objective. Let me put it that way. What is an ending? Like, it's personal, but it always leads to a new beginning, because life goes on, right? Things go on. Time passes beyond the moment of tragedy or finality or closure. It's always a new beginning. Okay. Should I keep kicking that horse, or should I let it die? All right, let's clarify the 10 of Swords for you, Aries. We're starting off with the Emperor. Okay, Aries, this is your energy. Emperor is your card. Mars, fire, war, persistence, insistence. We have the 8 of Cups. We're walking away from something that doesn't serve. Yeah, you're finding your ending here is really still leaving you with a sense of empowerment. We have the Four of Wands. This is a card of celebration. It generally involves other people. You can see two people celebrating in the background there. Some people call this the 1111 card. Some people say this card represents marriages. It kind of looks like a married couple back there celebrating. So this could be about soul contracts or twin flames or something. We have Hierophant on the bottom. This is a card of institution, authority, and tradition. Taurus energy, but what stands out to me about that combination, this to me is very kind of like, yeah, it's kind of speaking to marriage. So hopefully, Aries, if I am tapping into your specific situation here, you may be contemplating an ending of a marriage or some kind of long-term relationship. It does feel contractual just because of the Hierophant card there. That tells me there's something contractual about it. So it even could be a business partnership that was long-standing that you've chosen to walk away from with that Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is a card of empowerment, so I feel like it was your decision, or it's a decision you've chosen to make. It may not have been an easy decision, but it's one that you've made as really an act of empowerment in your own right. So you'll know what that is. Take it as it resonates, of course. I did drop one card here onto my chair. All right, clarifying the the Seven of Swords. We have the Knight of Cups. So coming out of this energy, we've got the Knight of Cups. A new offer coming in, perhaps. Seven of Swords can also be a card about like deceit and trickery, as well as tactfulness. And so you may have had a realization. You may have woken up to the fact that maybe this cup that's being offered isn't what it seems to be. Knight of Cups is traditionally considered a good offer or a mature offer, so I'm not so sure about that yet. Take it as it resonates. We've got the Nine of Swords. Yeah, there's some nightmare energy here. There's some being caught up in your head, being full of anguish, despair, worry, that kind of thing. And we have the High Priestess. Now, your solution to the Nine of Swords is this High Priestess energy. This is inner knowing. This is following your gut, trusting your intuition, Aries. I think you know what's right and what's wrong in this situation. It's not easy. Again, it's not a difficult decision to make, but I think you know what the right decision is. And it's a hard decision to make because you do have, I think what you're realizing is that maybe your knight in shining armor, gender aside, take it as it resonates, your knight in shining armor maybe wasn't what you thought. And that's hard. That's difficult. That's a difficult thing to process. It causes a lot of worry, but there's a part of you that does know. It's like you have an inner knowing about it. So you're coming to grips with that, I think. Excuse me. Underlying energy is death. This is Scorpio energy. So we do have some water here between the High Priestess and the Death card. But again, transformation, right? We just talked about this. Sometimes when I go on those rants, there's a reason. Sometimes. So my little sidebars, it's really interesting how that works. Sometimes the sidebars wind up getting re-emphasized in the cards. There's another reason for that. Cards are mirrors. Cards are mirrors. It's very, very difficult as a reader to not have my own energy interfere with what's going on. Every reader, by the way, I'm not just saying me specifically, but honestly, Aries, just as a side note, it's like if you've ever contemplated this, if you've ever contemplated your own capacity for intuition in any way and you have a desire to introduce yourself to tarot on a personal level, I highly, highly recommend it. The best use of tarot cards, bar none, hands down, all the way, is you reading the cards for yourself and using them as mirrors, recognizing that this is showing you a reflection of your own energy. Okay, that's the optimal way to read tarot, is for yourself. Okay, rant over. Let's move on. Nine of Wands, Aries. Nine of Wands. What does Aries need to know about this? Nine of Wands. I'm going to do one more shuffle here. Getting toasty in the van right now. I'll try to stay focused, so just bear with me. We got the Six of Wands. Okay, this is emerging victorious from battle, so this is a card of victory. It's very positive. We've got the Four of Cups. It's a bit of stagnancy here, too. Post-victory depression, perhaps we could say. maybe a little reprieve. It's meh, you know. Then we have the Queen of Pentacles. This queen, she really does focus heavily on developing her personal environment. Works hard at keeping her home the way she likes, keeping her reality the way she likes. She's cultivated an environment that is peaceful and serves her desires and interests. And so there's a call there for that, I think. Knight of Swords is on the bottom, fastest moving knight in the deck. Gung-ho, go get it energy, right? So this Nine of Wands, well, the Nine of Wands, again, is persistence, right? We did speak to the fact that this particular suit of wands in this deck has the scythe kind of removing the wands, and that is sort of a cutting off energy, right? You're going to be successful in cutting the things out of your life that doesn't serve, the things that help bring you closer to your manifestation. I think that anytime you cut something away, because we also had the Eight of Cups here, right? Walking away from things. Anytime you do that, it feels like a setback. It does feel like a setback. There's always a sense of perceived loss initially. And so there's a little bit of that here. But Spirit has something new for you. Coming up from the background here, you can see the Ace of Cups is sort of coming in behind. So something is coming in to replace that. In order for Spirit to give you something, sometimes you have to make room for it, okay? So that you can be cultivating the environment that best suits you in tandem with Spirit, with Source, okay? You are here to be uniquely you, Aries. We have a lot of programming about selfishness and self-centeredness, and the way society presents those things through the perspective of, say, Western religious values or political values, I think is pretty distorted at times, because it almost causes the shadow of selfishness to come to be the prominent and dominant energy of self-centeredness. And there is a light side, a healthy side of prioritizing yourself, and there's a shadow side. And this is a call to prioritize the light side of that, because when you are at your best, when you're healthy, happy, secure, at peace, you're able to serve others in a much greater capacity than you do as a suffering servant. Suffering servants have shadows that go deep because they're running from it. Don't run from your shadow. You have to face your shadow. You have to face your shadow to integrate it into your holistic self. If you deny yourself, read between the lines, those of you that need to, you are basically, all you're doing is suppressing it. You're putting it in the closet. You're stuffing it away, and it grows and it festers, and eventually it comes to a head. I've seen it. I mean, I've had personal anecdotes with others around me where they've been very pious types, and then a sudden snap, a sudden shift, and they do something extreme. They do something, something that is essentially bad. And I usually air quote good and bad, but I mean, things that really hurt other people. And it's because they were unwilling to acknowledge their shadow. So I don't know, side rant over again, Aries, take it as it resonates. Maybe some of you needed to hear that. Your authentic self is who you're meant to be, especially at this time, full moon in Capricorn. We're a little past it now, but it was a time to reflect on your authenticity, and the energy still lingers. So, okay, bear that in mind. Moving on. Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is sharp. She's perceptive. She does not take any bullshit from anybody. She cuts people off. The Queen of Swords is in the same column as the Emperor here, and I feel like it's a strong sense of, again, authenticity and sovereignty. There's the word. Sovereignty. You're not going to let people interfere with your sovereignty anymore. How about that? That sounds like a great plan. Seven of Wands. Yes, Seven of Wands, again, a defensive energy. In this case, it's a little different. You can see with all the trees there, the wands are sort of all over. And from a farther away scale, you can see it's sort of imbuing a little bit of a skull energy. It's the sense of other people's energy encroaching upon your own and feeling a need to be defensive about it. There's a healthy way to do that, and there's an unhealthy way to do that. Like I was just speaking to, authentic versus shadow sides of things. And there's a healthy way to hold your boundaries respectfully, healthfully, and to maintain your own sovereignty and not let other people really interfere with that. it's a call. This is Aries. I mean, there's a time and place for individualism, and there's a time and place for collectivism in the sense, a time to serve and a time to take care of yourself. And I think this feels kind of like it's a time to take care of yourself is what's going on here. And then we have the Three of Pentacles. This is a card about a big task, a big project coming up, something that you want to head towards. Generally speaking, it would require the help of others. These three pentacles are all growing at different rates. You can see one has the blossom on, the other one's a little smaller, and then the third one is barely sprouting out of the ground. And basically what that's saying is it's going to take time to nurture and cultivate this. Consistency is key. Farther down the line, when you get closer to harvest, there may be a situation that's going to require some form of partnership. Okay, so we're cutting out people who are ultimately not cooperating in this enterprise, and we may be incorporating people who are. And that can mean lots of things: romantically, business side of things, whatever it is. Creatively speaking, even brainstorming with people, that kind of thing. If somebody's not resonating with you, it's okay to just let it be for a while, 10 of Pentacles underlies the deck right now. 10 of Pentacles, legacy, energy, generational wealth, abundance, blessings, happiness. It's beautiful energy, Aries. And I think it's available to you. It's on the way. I mean, you may be a little early in the process of how that's coming forward at this time, simply because there seems to be a bit of a reset going on here. So Aries, that's what I have for you. I hope this resonated in the sense that I hope it was helpful. And if it is helpful and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing for more readings from me every Friday. Fire Fridays, Aries. And until then, best of luck with this energy. I hope to see you next Friday, and have a beautiful week.